All right, guys, good afternoon again. Welcome to another class. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, man, miss good.
What do you think about?
Miss me, I'm good, miss me good.
Okay. All right, so guys, hey boy, mute your microphone. Your background is noisy. All right, so I'm sure we saw the news about. Did we speak about this already? Seems like I haven't spoken to you in quite some time, even though we met on Wednesday. Oh, I don't think we spoke about this though, about school reopening in September, did we? I doubt it.
Miss.
Huh?
No, miss.
Okay. All right. So that's the
Yes,
10th.
miss.
We spoke about it already, Macy?
Yes, yes, miss.
Oh, okay. I really didn't remember. So that's the tentative date. But of course, we don't know what's happening, right? Because with this virus, anything can happen. So we are not sure what's happening, but tentative time is September. So how is everybody else doing? Are you guys having other classes? How are those going and so on?
Yes, miss me have some classes, but so some of my teacher them no want teach.
Okay. Anybody else? Kevoy is all. I can always count on Kevoy to participate. No man. What about the others of you?
Miss Amina, miss say
I know it's you. You're always talking. Please, Kevoy, mute your mic. Um, Tanaya. This is the first time seeing Tanaya on the class. Tanaya? Tanoya? Not even hearing her. Who else? Kemai. I haven't seen Kemai in quite some time. I don't know if it's Kemai's first time. Shanique. Guys, unmute and answer. Tanoya,
Yes, miss.
is your first time on the class?
Yes, miss.
Okay, all right. Welcome to class. Good to have you. Kemai, is your first time? Not hearing from Kemai.
Yes,
Kemai,
miss.
is your first time on class?
No, miss. My microphone I give problem, miss.
Oh, okay. All right, everybody, welcome once again. Remember, I don't know, remember if I told you, but I said that we were going to have the YouTube class, not YouTube class. I said I was going to upload the video. I think I sent it in the group. Upload all the videos that we're having here in class to YouTube so that afterwards, like other persons who cannot join, they'll be able to go and watch the videos to see what we would have covered. So I'm in the process of doing that. I've started uploading, but I'm going to wait until we're completed. Then I send the link and everything so other persons can watch the videos and see what we have been doing. So I noticed we have 12 persons today, which is very good. Yeah, 12 persons. And a lot of the persons here too were not in the last class. So of course, we're going to do a quick recap. So well, over the past few months or weeks since we've been having classes, we looked at quite a number of things. And I'm just doing a quick recap for those of us who have not been joining classes. We looked at computer security, as in ways in which we can secure computers, the data on the computers. So basically protecting the computers, right? And the software and the data. We also looked at the impact of information and communication technology, ICT, on jobs and various areas of our lives. So we looked on how technology affects like the business world, how technology affects manufacturing as in making products, how technology affects teaching, education, even though we are in this crisis, how is technology affecting what we are doing and so on. How technology affects what other areas we looked at, engineering, the music industry, movie industry, all of those things we would have covered. And then we moved on to Microsoft Excel. We kind of did a recap overview of the things we would have covered before school closed. And Then we looked at a few new functions. Well, we did a lot of things in Excel. Actually, we looked at uh, rank function, VLOOKUP function. We also learned how to format cells. We learned how to sort. We learned how to filter. In the last class, we looked at relative and absolute. No, that was the class before. That was the Monday. Well, we looked at relative and absolute cell addressing. That's when we are copying formula basically. If we want to make the formula remain the same, we put a $ around the formula, which is the absolute cell addressing. And if we want it to change, we don't put anything around it, we just drag it down. And then we moved on. In the last class, we looked at how to link more than one worksheet. How to link more than one sheet. That's what we looked at. So let me just open it right here. All right, so let me scroll up. All right, so we looked at how to link more than one sheet, and this is what we did. Can you see the screen? Can you see everything on the screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, I thought this thing was blocking it out because on my screen, it's showing your names and so on the side, and it's covering the screen, so I was wondering. All right, so we looked at, this was what we did in the last class. We created 3 tables. If you look down here, we are moving my cursor down here. We created 3 tables, or 3 worksheets rather. January, JAN stands for January, and we looked at import service. It's an import service and what they imported in January and how much was the cost for what they imported. Then we had a February worksheet as well, and another one called year. On the one called year, we wanted this total, the total export for January and the total export for February to be on the worksheet year. So we wanted to link the sheets basically. Does anybody remember how we link the sheets, how we link the worksheets? What do we do to link the worksheets? Somebody who was here the last class. What do we do when we want to link more than one sheet? Let me see. Oh, we are up to 13 persons. Good. Abigail, were you in the last class? I think so. Abigail, what do we do to link the sheets? Do you remember? Guys, you're not reading, and you're not. I don't know what is wrong with you. We're not reading the notes. We're not making our own notes. And it seems like we're just not following. Abigail, were you in the last class? Abigail not even an answer. Anybody was in the last class? Kevoy, I am sure you were in the last class because you never miss a class.
Yes, miss. Miss, repeat the question, miss.
How do we link the tables? What do we do? What's the formula when we're linking the tables?
Alright, I only know this again. First like equal sign. How do you do again?
You were supposed to be taking notes.
Yeah, we use
Yes,
exclamation sign.
but before the exclamation sign, what should you have?
I wonder again.
You should have been taking notes. Where is your book?
Miss, me look Peter.
Oh boy. So it seems like only Kevoy was in the last class that is here today. Macy. Macy was in the last class. Seems like Macy internet giving problem. Okay, boy. Find it. Okay, boy, go and look for your book and we have class. You're not supposed to have your book in front of you, man. All right, so to link the tables or the worksheet, this is the formula. The first thing we have is our equal sign followed by the sheet that the name of the sheet we're taking the data from, which in this case, the name of the sheet was John, then an exclamation mark and the name of the cell that we want to take the data from. So because you guys were not on the previous class, it might be confusing to you. As I said, I'm going to upload. Well, I already went through it, K-boy, so. So guys, as I was saying, I'm going to upload the videos to YouTube. So I guess when that is done, you'll be able to follow. But what happened is that January, the total money for January was 2,590, and we wanted to place it on the worksheet called year. That January right here wanted to place the total amount, which is the 2,590. That is right here on January. We want to put it on the worksheet here. I know that some of you might be saying, but you could have just copy it and paste it. Yes, I know. But you are expected to learn how to link tables, and this is a small body of information. If it was a lot of information and you wanted to move things, it probably would have posed a challenge. And so we teach you how to merge the tables. So to do that, all we did, so January, the total is in B10 for the worksheet called Jan, and we want to bring over the total right here, and it's in B10. So the formula is equal Jan, which is the name of the worksheet, exclamation mark B10, which is the cell that the total is in. So the formula is made up of the equal sign followed by the name of the worksheet, an exclamation mark, and the cell where you can find this data that you want to bring over. All right, so that's basically it. So anything you want to move from one place to the next, you basically use that formula. Whatever the sheet is called, if we were using this sheet called instruction, it would be equal instruction, exclamation mark, and whatever the cell address of what we want to move over is. Now, when you're doing it, when you're doing this kind of formula, when you're writing the name of the sheet, you have to type it exactly as it is. So for example, Jan, if in the formula we use a common J instead of a capital J, it would have given an error. So if we use a common J, let me show you. I'm going to put a common J, or let me put I. So I type I by mistake and press enter. You're going to see what happens. So it's taking me to the save folder, and then it's going to say ref. You notice it says ref with the exclamation mark there because it's saying that it cannot find this reference. So reference is basically use the exclamation mark to link the table. So it's saying I cannot find this reference. In other words, I don't know this name. I don't acknowledge this name. All right. So you have to type it exactly as it is. All right. So that's that. We're moving on, and we're going to finish Microsoft Excel today. We're just doing one small topic, even though it's a big deal, but we're going to finish it. It's the last function that we have to complete, and it's the PMT function. It's called the PMT function, and I'm going to tell you what it's used for and so on, and then we'll complete it. Before we move on though, remember that the class Zoom only gives us 40 minutes. So when this time finishes, I'm going to send you the next link so that we can go up to 5 o'clock if we're not finished before then. All right, guys. So before we continue, how many of us have devices? Please, if you have a device, raise your hand by clicking the raise hand icon or unmute and let me know, because you're going to be typing in Microsoft Excel. Do you have a device? Kevoy already always saying he doesn't have a device. Kemoy, do you have a computer, a laptop, a tablet, or a desktop computer can use? Kemoy? All right, Tevon raised his hand. I see that Tevon raised his hand. And somebody else. So 2 persons have a device. Anybody else, just unmute and say yes, you have. So Tevon, that's and Patrine. Anybody else?
Cool.
And Alandre. All right, guys. So 3 persons have devices. All right, guys. I know that I don't even know what to say to you because I mean, you can't force your parents to trying to get a device right now. But as I said, Microsoft Excel can be downloaded on your phones. It might be a little bit challenging since the screen is small, but you can at least try that. Or if you know somebody that you can borrow a device from, Patrine also has a device. Good. So it's 4 persons. If you know somebody who you can borrow a device from just for when we are having class, because what we have discussed in our meetings in the IT department is that we will focus on mostly practical. So after we're finished with Microsoft Excel, we are going to move on to database, which is another practical, because what we want to do is to finish off the practical so you can start doing your SBAs. Because we don't know how long we'll be out of school for, and you should have started your SBAs. Well, you would have started if we were at school, you would have already started. All right, Shanique raised their hand as well, so that's 5 persons. Good. That's a lot. That's good compared to the last time we had only 1 and 2 persons having a device. So that's good. We have 5 persons. All right. So, guys, try to borrow a device, a tablet, a laptop from somebody if you live close to a friend or a family member that has a device. It's just for 1 hour for the class so that you can at least practice. I know that the videos will be there that you can look back on because I'm going to put them on YouTube eventually. But I mean, if you have it while we're going through, it would be good. It would be better for you. So as I always say in the last previous classes that we've had, if you don't have a device, guys, just follow and make your little notes of what we are doing. Please make your notes. Alrighty. So we're going to be looking at the PMT function. I'm sure you're wondering what is the PMT function, or some might not be wondering if you were reading the Excel notes sent in the group from before school closed. So the PMT function is used in loan distribution. All right, can somebody please tell me what a loan is? What is a loan? Nobody should know what a loan is. What's a loan, guys? Somebody, anybody? What is a loan? Shanique? Angelina?
Well, so one thing can say I don't know if it's right or wrong.
Hey, Roy, let somebody else because you're always talking. See.
Miss money that you borrowed from.
All right, so who's that? Macy? All right, Macy said that is when you borrow
Yes, miss.
money. All right, so I asked a general question. A loan doesn't necessarily have to mean money, right? But in this sense, we're talking about money. So when we borrow money, normally we have various institutions that we borrow money from, right? Tell me some of those institutions that we borrow money from, or our parents borrow money from.
Bank.
The bank, anywhere else? So we have banks and we also have places which are that's just the job. They just
Yes, yes,
give
and
loans.
people.
Huh?
You can
Like,
borrow money from people.
all right. And like WorldNet organization and other loan places that their sole job is just to grant loans, right? But what is true to loans? I'm not talking about borrowing loans from people now, Kevor. When you go to an institution, whether a bank or otherwise, to get a loan, what are we normally expected to pay on this loan? Business students,
Interest.
anybody? Very good.
Interest. Like if you
Thank
take
you.
too
Mm-hmm.
long to pay.
Mm-hmm. But is it just when you take too long to pay that you pay interest? Or you are expected to pay interest regardless?
Miss, it depends on the loan.
Well, yes. All right. So, but most times though, if you're borrowing money from a financial institution, you're normally expected to pay interest. So they always have an interest rate, whether you're taking out a car loan, a personal loan, whatever kind of loan, a mortgage, whatever it is, you're normally expected to pay back some form of interest. So some financial institutions might have a higher interest rate than others. So most persons they say, okay, they try the different institutions and then they see which one offers the lowest interest rate, which would be the best thing for them so that they'll pay back less, they'll pay less additional money on the money that they borrowed. All right. They normally hear our parents say court is thief or whoever is thief because they borrow $100,000 and then when by the finish pay back the loan they pay back 200,000, which would be that they pay 100% interest and so on. All right, guys. So what the bank and the other financial institutions use to calculate how much money persons will pay back is called a PMT function in Microsoft Excel. Now, different institutions might have different software, but if the institution is using Microsoft Excel to do their calculations, then they'll use what we call the PMT function. The PMT function to calculate how much money the person will pay back. All right, everybody is following so far? Yes? No?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
All right. So that's what the PMT function does. Calculates. All right, so this says time is running out 10 minutes, so we'll continue. When it's finished, I'll send the next link. So we continue up to 5. All right, so that's what the PMT function is used. It's just another Excel function, just like sum, average, min, max, all product. It's just another function like those, all right? And it's used to calculate loan payment. All right, so looking on this table right here, everybody seeing this table, right? Looking on this table, what is the amount of money that the person would borrow right here in this table?
100,000.
100,000.
All right, good. So the person is borrowing 100,000. How many years will the person take to pay back this loan?
5 years.
5 years, good. And what would be the interest rate?
12%.
12%.
12%. So that means they borrow $100,000 over a 5 years period. They are expected to pay a 12% interest on this $100,000. So we are now going to learn how to use the PMT function to calculate how much money the person is going to pay monthly. All right. So we are going to calculate how much money the person will pay on a monthly basis and also how much money the person will end up paying overall. So of course we know they have a 12% interest, so then they're going to end up paying more. They borrow 100, but they're going to end up paying a little bit more than that. All right, because of the interest rate, which is the 12%. All right, so we're going to go now. All right, so those who have a device are going to type this table. So let me put it here so I can just look at it and type it at the same time. Make it a little bigger so you can see. Everybody seeing it? All right, so we start typing in A1. Or let me see. Let me go back and look on it to see where they start typing from, because the instruction tell us. All right, so let me see which cell. The number of payments of lifetime will be 5 years, which is in cell C4. 5 years. So this is in C4. That means they start typing in B3. All right, we start in B3. So loan amount and it's going to fall out. The loan amount is going to fall out. So first, extend the cell by going between the B and the C, and wait until you see this. The cursor turns into this with the arrow crossway with the two heads and one long way, and then extend C as well. So it's loan amount 100,000. Loan years 5. Interest rate is 12. I'm not putting on, don't put on the percentage sign. Might cause an error when we're doing the calculation. Let me just double check that I'm typing it in the right. No, you know. Oh yeah. All right, so skip a line and go down to B7. Let me just double check. If, hold on, if. All right, just continue type. If anything, based on their cell address, we'll just change ours. Number of payments, present value, monthly repayment, it's not even spelled, monthly repayment, and then in F we have total amount repaid. All right, those are typing. Let me know while you're finishing. I'll just bold the headings and so on. All right, so the PMT function is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. All right, the rate, which is the interest rate. Oh, let me take out that. So the rate, which is the interest rate, the NPER. NPER stands for number of payments. The present value, that's the PV, the monthly payment, and the total amount to be repaid. Basically, what we'll be calculating is these two things, the monthly payment and how much money should be repaid. All right, guys, you're finished typing? Those are typing. You're finished? Just let me know, please. Guys, if you don't answer me, I can't know that you're finished typing. Guys, you finished? Yes or no?
I'm finished.
You're finished? What did you say, Alandre?
I'm finished, miss.
Huh?
I'm finished.
Okay. All right, so it's only 2 minutes that left. That's it. So it don't make any sense to start. I'm just going to close this meeting and send the link for us to continue, all right? So all we're going to be doing is putting in our formula, calculate the monthly repayment and the total amount to be repaid. And then that will be basically it. All right, so I'm going to send the link for the next one. Please, guys, as soon as I send it, just joined. There are 14 of us now, which is very good. So I hope to see the 14 of us when I send the link to continue. All right. I'm going to end this one now and then send the link.